Welcome to another episode of Femme Flex Friday. Wow. Today, we're getting into the Halloween spirit with some spooky confessions. But we are not just talking about ghosts, and ghouls. Wow. We're diving deep into the fears and anxieties that come with competing. From stage fright to imposter syndrome. We will share our own personal experiences and masks we wear in order to perform on the Olympia stage. So grab your favorite Halloween treat and get ready for an insightful and inspiring conversation about what it takes to compete at the highest level. Now don't forget, subscribe to Olympia TV so that you never miss any of our wonderful episodes. And don't forget to like, comment, share this video. Ladies, spooky confessions, fear and anxiety related to competing. Ladies and gentlemen, today I'm Queen Charlotte, and of course I'm wealthy. So I have a Mona Lisa, and of course my knight,
my lady.
Yes. Always there beside me. And there would be no fun without my jester. Whoop, whoop.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right, guys. Ooh, that's right.
Yes.
That's a good Mona Lisa face. All right, guys, welcome. We're about to have some fun. It's Halloween, ladies.
It is?
It is? Yes.
Oh, yeah. Trick or treat. Trick or treat.
Yes, yes, yes. So let's see. We're going to talk about fear and anxiety because, yes, fear and anxiety, it exists, right?
Sorry.
On the big stage?
Yes.
Yes, all right. So, ladies, I would love for you to share a specific experience where you felt overwhelmed by fear, anxiety related to competing, and how did you manage to overcome it? Who would like to start? How about you, Jester?
Gumby.
Gumby.
Well,
She's like,
Gumby
great. Yeah. I'm not a jester. I'm a Gumby.
Well, no.
Right.
I think they fall in the same category.
They do.
I just have to ask, how does it feel to talk about serious subjects with this costume on?
Oh, man. This is going to be hard, guys.
I know. Challenging.
You know, gosh, this is actually a big, very prominent topic for athletes in our division because I think everyone experiences fear at some point. If you haven't, you're probably lying to yourselves. But in trying to recount a specific situation for me, I'd say coming back from when I broke my neck and having to deal with everyone saying, oh, there's no way she's going to get on stage. And then ending up 4 weeks out tearing my ACL. I can usually master fear pretty well, but that was when I got the news from my surgeon saying, hey, you tore your ACL, your MCL, you're out. I thought, there's no way. And it was just that fear of, now everyone's going to be right. They thought I wasn't going to come back from my breaking my neck, but in reality, that's not what was keeping me out. It was now that I had the injury. So trying to face that fear, but I got on stage and obviously it turned out well.
Yes,
thank goodness.
Did.
That was my first world championship title, but it was 24 hours where I literally faced it, cried, was scared, every emotion. And then I said, you know what, screw this. I came back from breaking my neck, I can do this.
Yeah.
So tried to change it around, but that was my most real sense of fear, probably in the past, easily the past 10 years.
Yeah, but then I guess it's like an example because like with fitness, you guys have so much energy. You always appear to be happy. So you had to walk through that and put on the Happy, the Gumby.
I had to
The
put on,
Gumby
I mean, in
face.
reality, I had so many body parts that were broken, and
Right.
you have to just kind of figure out.
I don't know how she
That's
did
why
it.
Gumby is a good representation for a fitness athlete. We got to pretend everything's working, everything's agile and flexible.
The real life Gumby.
Yes, totally.
It's just so crazy that you were able to do what you did with the injuries that you faced. It's literally inhuman. It really is.
Well, mindset. I'm telling
Yeah,
you,
I
it
think-
goes
yeah.
back to mindset. You can control so much mentally that you can't physically.
Yeah.
So once you can conquer that and go, you know what? Don't focus on what you can't do. Because I had literally 2 bad arms because I had nothing really.
Wow.
It had only been 9 months post neck surgery.
Yeah.
And I had 1 good leg because the other one was just demolished. So it's like, what can you do?
Wow.
Well,
And
you
pulled
can
it off
sit
in
and
one.
focus. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
just, but again, I had to start from scratch and go, there's everything I can't do, but what could you do with 1 leg? And hey, things
Wow.
work. There's always something. There's always options.
Yes,
Yeah.
I love it.
I should have worn this on that stage.
Yeah.
And it probably would have made a
You
little
had a
bit more
happy
sense.
face just like that because we didn't know.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
That was the point. No one needed to know.
I think I shared this with you guys, but mine is obviously not quite at the level of Whitney. But we all face these thoughts and these feelings at the level that we're at. And for me, I have only applied for the Arnold 3 times. The first time was right after I won my pro card because I won the overall at the USA, and I'm like, I know, I wanted my pro debut at the Arnold, and I just won the USA. They're totally going to invite me. Well, I applied, and I was really bummed out because they didn't they didn't invite me. Which I mean, I had no business being there yet. Anyway, I wasn't ready mentally, physically, emotionally, and so then I didn't even apply until I had already been to the Olympia. I had been to the Olympia 5 times before I applied again, 4 times, because I applied before 2019 and I got the invite. And I remember I was really nervous for that. I had a lot of fear going into it. I kept running through my mind that I was going to be in the last call out and yada yada yada. I think there were 20 girls, 20 girls that got invited that year. Maybe there was a bigger group of girls, but I actually applied again the 3rd time last year, and I got the invite, and they only invited 10 girls.
Wow, so that's awesome to be invited.
It was really awesome, but it was like I had this moment where I was really fearful because every girl on the list had beat me at the Olympia. And it was like, so it's really hard for me to take myself seriously right now.
Yeah. It is. I know it is hard, right?
Your costume while you talk is amazing.
Sorry.
Great.
If you guys laugh, I won't take offense.
I had to bring my Mona Lisa
this
with
is
me.
hard. It's hard to take me seriously. But so here's what happened. I was so afraid. I kept thinking about how all these girls had just beat me at the Olympia, and I got an invite anyway. And what happened was I ended up getting 10th. I got last. Right? And the worst thing happened. And we always think, what's the worst thing that can happen? Well, the worst thing did happen. And I'm still alive. I'm still okay.
That's it.
Yeah.
You're still
Yeah.
here.
And then I won a show and I qualified for the Olympia. And it didn't, and I had this aha moment. Like my biggest fear going into it happened, and it didn't break me.
And it didn't
And
break you.
think like, we had talked to the mindset coach, and he was saying that you collect these mini wins, and I think that was a win for me.
Yes.
Because that I think we always avoid taking on a challenge because we're worried about like, what about the worst case scenario? Well, let's imagine that the worst case scenario does happen. How are you going to deal with it?
How are you going to deal with
Yeah.
it? So, Camille, did you have any, like, as far as fears in regards to competition?
I do.
Thank you.
It's so hard to take ourselves seriously.
In the Great Battle of Edinburgh,
Yes.
I was fearful of the enemy.
You were fearful of the enemy.
But I remembered my queen and my why.
You've watched Game of Thrones way too
Yes.
much.
And I went to battle and I fought for the homeland. And I had to remember my why.
Did you win the homeland?
But I was fearful of the enemy and the unknown.
And the unknown.
That was some wisdom right there.
Such amazing warriors. To your queen and, you're amazing.
But in all seriousness, I think going, in a previous episode, we had a mind coach come on, and I feel like when I would get like my very first Olympia was the best. And I think, Lenda, you and I were talking about this too. You have no expectations.
Yeah.
There's nothing, you have nothing in your mind holding you back.
Yeah.
And I was expecting, I was just there to have fun. I was just like, I'm here to collect that jacket, and I've already made it.
Yes.
And I did great. I placed 7th, my first Olympia. And then the following years after that, I just felt a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
And I feel like had I just allowed myself to just go and push back on any maybe mental thought of doubt, I probably could have, who knows what, if things would have changed. But I feel like the biggest fear would just be like doubt or judgment, you know, like mental thoughts that you have, like those were, I guess, stemmed from fear.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, no question for me. I told you guys that my first Olympia had no expectations, and then all of a sudden now I'm the best in the world, and I have to defend my title, and then it was bigger than, I'm like, oh my God, like it's me, like. So I would say that was probably for me, fear.
That would be.
I had a couple other times, but it was really, it was scary. Because then it was like
That
all
is
of
a
a sudden,
scary thing.
Yeah.
it was like I was asking
lot of
to do
pressure.
what Corey Everson, the Miss Olympia prior to me. And then now it was like, I was Miss Olympia. I was Corey Everson, like in that role.
Yeah.
And so that was really, yeah. I got through it. I would say of all my Olympias, the worst. So if you see like bad hair, bad makeup, horrible posing routine, everything that I'm not known for. I just couldn't control all the other stuff, and I was like, okay, it is what it is.
It's hard to get.
My I can't. The critiques.
Yeah.
You know what's so interesting is that I feel like people really do root for the underdog, and whenever I went on a streak of second places, I had so many people rooting for me, and then when you win, it's like all of a sudden people aren't rooting for you anymore. That's how it feels. You know, it feels like they want, because the underdog is always like the favorite. You know. Yeah. So when you're at the top, you're the one that has the target on your back, you have the X on your back, and everybody wants to take that from you.
Everybody wants it.
Yeah. So some people may feel scared of success for that reason too. They're more comfortable without the target on their back, and they feel like it's more fun to have everybody like, you know.
One thing that helped me overcome some of that fear though was visualization. So like I would visualize. I spent a lot of time the weeks leading up to it just laying there with my eyes closed and visualizing every step, the way I would look. So that way when I went on stage, I wasn't scared, because when you're on that stage, it's not like to be in front of a crowd of thousands of people. It's a scary thing.
That does help a lot.
Yeah. So if you can visualize that, that helps. And the other thing I would do is I would go behind stage, behind the curtains, and I would practice my routine, pretend I was on stage. So you can walk that whole distance. You can kind of like see through the curtains. You can see what you're going to be looking at. So that way when you're up there, you're not like, oh God.
Oh, right. Because that is frightening.
It is
walk
frightening.
Out on stage and the bright lights, and then
it seems like it's like the longest walk with like crickets going off.
Especially now with competitions, they don't. I hate how they have the lights on in the audience. Like back in my day, it was theater, and you walked out and you could hear. I could hear my subjects, but I could not see your subjects.
I love it.
Okay, guys. So how do you differentiate between like normal pre-contest nerves and more serious issues like imposter syndrome, or and what should we like? What warning signs should we look out for?
Well, I think that. Sorry, excuse me for a moment. I think that imposter syndrome is when you either are unprepared for what you're doing and you have a moment of, oh my gosh, you look around, everybody's in shape. Of course, we all have bad dreams like that, right? Or you feel like you don't belong, and there's a certain set of nerves that come from unpreparedness, or feeling like you just don't belong where you're at, or the level that you're at. And then the difference between that and feeling like you do belong but you're really nervous is kind of like when I remember when I was a track athlete and I was at the top of my game, and I would be so nervous about not winning. I would be so nervous about not getting the time I needed to get, and that was the thing that would stress me out. I never felt like I was an imposter. I just would. So there's two different types of nerves that I feel like people go through.
Yeah,
you know
because
what I
it's
mean?
normal for us to be nervous.
Yeah.
It's normal, guys. Like,
Yeah.
it's something wrong if you're not. Like, you should
Yeah.
have a little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not all
good.
nerves are bad.
They're
Right.
not.
Yeah,
It's exciting.
It means you
Yeah.
care. It's
prep.
important to
Yes.
you.
I have an
like
idea.
that. It means you care.
I have the best idea right now. You know how they say, like, if you get nervous, just look out and imagine everybody's naked? Okay? I have a tip for you guys.
Imagine us.
Imagine that you're looking at us and you
Yeah.
will not be nervous. Just
You're going to
imagine.
be like, at least I don't look like
Just-
those idiots.
Although I would be nervous
Okay,
in front of
it's just
Lenda
me.
still.
You're too good.
She's really good.
You're very proper. You're hilarious. You are in character amazing, and I'm just ridiculous.
I know, this is so funny. I keep looking. I love looking, seeing you. But then I can
So,
see you
guys,
in there, Whitney.
we have a new-
Whitney
we have a-
Jones.
I got my eye on you.
We have
Just
a new
one.
theory for you. No more needing to think about anybody naked because we know you probably don't want to do that. You just think about us and you're good to go.
Hey.
So guys, what signs or what advice would you give to an athlete that's really struggling with fear of going out on the stage? Any advice?
Practice for one. I think the more you do it, repetition, that really helps. And that will overcome the initial nerves.
Yeah.
Visualization, breathing techniques actually really help. I did breathing before I would go on stage, tried to at least.
Yeah.
And it really does help. But the imposter syndrome, I think that just takes a little bit longer. If
Yeah.
you are feeling that, it takes longer. I experienced that probably my first couple of years of being a professional athlete. I got there really quickly. And then when I was there, I was just like, I didn't feel like I belonged there yet.
Yeah.
And that took me some time to
Yeah.
get through that. But it's tricky. That's actually a really tough question.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things that personally, I have my clients do this exercise because it's one of the things that absolutely changed me as an athlete early on. But I remember my first Olympia ever, not after a win, but I was so jacked and excited. Like there was no nerves. It was all, if anything, it was just straight excitement. Like I'm here, I may never be here again. So I loved it. But then I did a normal pro show after that, and I was like a wreck. And that's not my normal mentality. So I sat in my thoughts. I had a moment, I was in the hotel, and I wrote down, like physically wrote down, because I'd been going through it in my head, but physically wrote down every one of my fears. So being in the fitness category, it was like, forget my routine, face plant on a back tuck, totally screw up my choreography. On my posing, you know, what if I tripped in my heels? What if my suit came undone? What if I forgot my pose? Literally made this laundry list of all my fears. And then thought, what is the worst case scenario of that? Okay, my suit came off. Well, I'm exposed. But you write it all out.
Right.
And then for me, I thought, okay, what's going to happen?
What's going to happen?
I'm going to laugh at myself and be like, that was embarrassing, but oh well, I'm still alive.
Yeah.
If I am last place, my boys are still going to love me. I'm going to still have my job when I get back. So, but not going through that process. I'd done it mentally plenty of times until I wrote it down and saw each of these and looking at the absolute worst case scenario, then I was like, it's really not that big of a deal. It's happened. The worst case scenario has happened to people and they still survive. And it helped me face it head on. So when I have any of my athletes who were spinning themselves out before a show, I say, I want to see your papers. And I not just do it, I want to see it. Not that I'm going to read it, that's personal, but taking them through the exercise, it totally changed the level of athlete they became.
That's interesting.
That's awesome.
Yep, simple, but it makes a lot of sense. We're going to take a quick break, guys, and when we return, we're going to talk about the mask we wear.
What
The masks we
This is who
wear.
we really are, is what we really look like.
And we're back. Yes, ladies. Are you ready?
Yes.
Yes. The mask we wear. Talking about the mask we wear on stage, on the Olympia stage. And absolutely, yes, we wear masks. Because I'm sure when you're on stage, night, also known as night Camile, that you don't walk around the streets the way you walk in your bikini, your strut, Bikini.
Yeah.
Right?
Nope.
Nope. Tell us about it. Is that a persona? What mask are you wearing? You have the makeup on, and so you're. Yeah,
I can tell you she needs to put a comb through her hair.
Get thy hand off me!
Wendy said you fell off the horse and you was a little disheveled.
Fell off a horse.
Did hobo nights exist back in the day?
I got kicked off my horse.
I got you, girl. You're pretty now.
Masks.
Yes, mask.
Masks.
Let's get serious.
We're trying to take ourselves seriously.
I know. I'm like forgetting the question. The masks we wear.
Yes.
Wendy, why don't you go first?
Okay, so try for a moment to take me seriously here, okay? But I do feel like, this old saying, fake it till it's real. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, I'm crying because I'm laughing so hard.
I know.
The Mona Lisa
The
does
whole
cry.
fake it till it's real. I always tell people, you have your personality that you operate with every single day, right? But then there's this personality that you need to find from within that absolutely exists. The sexy, sultry,
Yes.
charismatic side of you that you want to get there because that's one of the challenges that you want to face. One of the reasons why shy people that are afraid to be in front of a bunch of people in a bikini take on the sport of bodybuilding is because deep down inside they want to overcome that fear. And the only way to overcome that fear is to find every single woman wants to feel sexy and beautiful, and this is your opportunity to really overcome that fear and become that version of yourself. And maybe it's just on stage. And I've seen a lot of people who, like, you meet them and they're silly, and your best friend,
Alex,
Alex, she is so silly, but when she goes on stage, she is a hot mamacita.
Yeah.
And she just has a side of her, and it's like it's not like a different person. It's a different version of her that she channels from within. I'm kind of the same way. Like, I feel like there's a mask that I wear on stage, and I'm silly and I'm goofy and whatever, but as soon as I hit that stage, as soon as those lights go, I am like, boom, I take a deep breath and I'm like, let's go,
Statuesque.
Yeah. But you know what? I love it because it's an opportunity. It's almost literally like a Halloween costume.
Yeah.
Like this.
It's the one chance that you can be whoever you want to be on stage. Like,
Totally. Yes.
I'm a tomboy. I am not sexy. Hello, look at me.
You kind of are a little sexy.
There's a little sexy
I'm
in
a
there.
little
There's a
sexy.
little
Oh,
sexy
yeah.
in there, trust me.
But I don't like the posing around and stuff. I look at these bikini girls and I'm like, man, they exude sex appeal.
Yeah.
So for me, I have to, it's almost like that Beyonce mentality where like, be whoever you want to be and fierce and sexy. It's an opportunity to act, but for me, each prep, it's someone different. It's some different persona.
I see. Yeah.
That makes it exciting because if it was the same, I think it'd get old. But you have to practice
So you
that
do a different persona every time.
Yes.
You have a different type of version of yourself.
But you got to practice it before stage, because you got to really be able to believe it and tap into that persona. Otherwise, you're not gonna. It's gonna be fake.
Yeah.
My very first show I ever did in NPC, I was so nervous about like, oh my gosh, I'm probably gonna be nervous on stage. I'm being a big bikini, like, woo, this is like not in my comfort zone. And after I had my makeup done, I was not used to wearing that much makeup. I had so much makeup on. I had the tan. It was something that I was so not familiar with. That I was like, I felt like I had a mask on. I felt like I had a costume on. And I was like, nobody would even. Well, it made me feel so much more comfortable on stage because I felt like people couldn't actually see me.
Interesting.
It was like a costume I was putting on.
Interesting.
And that people wouldn't really recognize me. So it made me feel a lot more comfortable when I was all done up.
That's a good point, actually.
So it made you let loose a little bit more?
I totally was able to let loose a little bit more.
No one's going to recognize me.
I didn't think anyone would recognize me.
Interesting.
So do you guys ever lose touch with your true, like self when you go through that process of, when I think about bikini, the posing and that presentation has completely changed from the beginning. Because remember, it was very kind of flirtatious.
It was very. It was like
and
almost,
now.
Yeah. So like a few years ago, we've kind of gone out of that, which is good. I think
Yes, which is
it
good.
was almost like
I think
too much.
it's
It was almost like we were told like
It was
you
kinda-
want to eye fuck the judges.
Yes.
and it was probably awkward for the judges too. They're like, okay, so and if that's not who you are,
Yes.
it looks really awkward. So luckily now it's like you just do your like what you feel comfortable with. So the routine I adapted was kind of more similar to like my style.
Yours is so classy.
Yes,
and
classy.
like beautiful.
Right.
Well, thank you.
It exudes sex appeal, but in a very classy way.
Well, I'm like, okay, I'm like one of the oldest ones in this division. I don't need to be like, I was like, you know, act, stay in your lane. Act, be yourself, and that's when you have also the most confidence.
I think that's
too.
so important for the people out there, the athletes, the women to know. It's like stay in your lane and be authentic.
Yeah, because people can tell when you're not being authentic,
And it's a version of you, but it's not like necessarily because you have girls that are the way they express their joy maybe isn't through a smile. They have their own way of expressing a smile. Maybe they're more smoldery, saucy kind of personality types. And then you have girls that are. Then you have girls on the other end of the spectrum that are bubbly and energetic and stuff. So if that girl tried to be like sultry and smoldery, she would look awkward.
Yeah.
If the girl who's like smoldery and sexy tried to bounce on the stage with a big old smile that's awkward, she would look not right. So there's a version within you that you need to pull out that's definitely,
it still has to be you.
but it's gotta be you.
Yeah, when I put my posing routine together and I started incorporating the robotic moves and being a robot and transforming from this robot. And you know,
I saw that
Whitney,
routine.
How important, like first you get the routine together, you put the moves with the music, and then you have to really be sure that
was an
you
awesome
can
routine, by the way.
flex and do that. I love that. I do love that routine.
I want you to do it right now.
Yeah.
My lady.
You want me to do it? No.
So do we.
Sorry, Queen.
Interrupted
The
you.
Queen does not do physical
She
things
makes the
anymore.
rules.
Yes, I make the rules. Yes, no, but I had to be mean, like be serious. I had to have a serious face, and so it kind of goes along with being like you're all ripped, your face is ripped.
Yeah.
And I'm so used to smiling, it was hard for me to like have this serious look and then the audience and hear and I had to stay in character.
Yes. Well, and even like you look at a fitness routine. So most of the routines I choreograph, and especially for mine, I always say you have to have different personalities. So again, it has to match with the music. But for what I do a lot of the hip hop, b-boy, breakdancing.
Yeah.
So you can't be smiley, happy, poppy, but there needs to be those elements. So I'll come out and it'll be maybe like badass, hardcore, savage mode, and then it goes to the sexy and the cutesy, and then you're serious and confident and cocky. Like that 2-minute routine has to have a mix of so many different personalities to make it entertaining.
That's what's so amazing about you guys. You really are. We're going to take a quick break, guys, and go into our third segment. But don't forget to like and subscribe. Do not go anywhere. We're having a blast here, and the Queen says you must return. And we'll see you.
You diet down, train hard, and supplement smart for months. When the time comes to step on stage, don't leave your tan to chance. Go with the pros. Pro Tan. #1 worldwide since 1987 and the official sponsor of the Olympia for the last 15 years. Don't step on stage without it. Pro Tan.
Welcome back. Femme Flex Friday, and if you don't know who this character is, go there.
That's right.
Jones, Ms. Olympia, Camile Perriot. Yes. Knight.
My lady.
Yes. And Wendy Fortino.
What's up?
My Mona Lisa. Yes. Yes, so guys, you have to vote. Who? Queen Queen Charlotte, the winner, Mona Lisa, the Knight,
Or me.
yes, She does manicures, I hear.
I
hear
cuticles too. Very precise. Very precise.
Cuticles. This is just so silly.
So we're going to now talk about building resilience. To wrap this up, but remember, vote. Vote, vote.
Who did it best?
Yes. We do our best for you.
Yes.
All right, guys. How do you define resilience? And why do you think it's such an important quality for athletes to have? Can you share a specific experience where you had to rely on your resilience or overcome a difficult challenge competing?
Every time you compete, you're dealing with resilience.
Right.
Yes.
If you ever are defeated, there's, you're being judged on your physique. There's criticism. There's only one winner. So you have to be resilient. You have to continue coming back and fighting for what you want, no matter what the outcome is. And that is purely resilience.
If you focus only on the outcome, I am convinced this sport, this industry will eat you up.
Oh, yeah.
You have to focus on the journey. You have to focus on knowing you're just doing your best because you don't control who shows up. Again, it's not a race where it's a track meet and there's a clear-cut winner. You have to be willing to accept the outcome. Don't always have to agree with it. Obviously, there's plenty of times you don't, but you accept it, move on, find improvements.
Yeah.
You're doing it because people get in this sport because they love to lift, they love to work out, and this gives them a good goal.
Yep.
So if your goal is to do better, get that pro card, get to the Olympia stage, win Olympia, if it doesn't happen, stay focused on your goal. Don't get bitter. It will be the downfall of you as an athlete. I guarantee you that.
And be kind to your co-competitors.
Yes.
Absolutely. Very good. Well said.
Exactly, because the thing is that there's resilience if you don't win, and there's a lot of resilience that you have to have even if you do win. Because when you win, it's never unanimous. Whoever you ended up beating has followers and fans and family and people that are going to try to take you down, and it's unfortunate, but it's true. You have the pressure of having to repeat it and having people wanting to see you come down. That's a whole nother set. Know all about that.
Oh yeah.
And that is so difficult, but not everybody also roots for the underdog either, and you're fighting wanting to achieve something that maybe you haven't achieved yet. I think we've all been there.
Yes.
And that takes a lot of resilience, and at the end of the day, if you have a purpose behind what you're doing, if your purpose is simply to win, then you're chasing an empty bubble. You can achieve that and the bubble will just pop, right?
Yeah.
But if your purpose is, for me, it's like, acquiring these networks, these friendships, these relationships, opportunities, and as I'm trying to climb to the top, I am trying to take it all in, trying to collect everything that I possibly can, because that sport's not always going to be there for me, and I want to be able to have the substance and the foundation to what I ultimately want to be doing.
And at the end of the day, you look very beautiful on a wall.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I know I'm the best painting of all time. I'm the most beautiful painting of all time.
One of the most expensive Mona Lisas. Great. That's great. So any suggestions we can give to those out there, as far as just because we're going through the journey, right? And we want the outcome to win, but just how do you get past and prepare for whether you win or you lose? Any suggestions?
I think you have to just truly take the time to think about why you're doing it and what do you want out of it, and know that if there are the fears, once you can recognize them, that doesn't mean they're going to go away. But realizing what it is that's holding you back, realizing what's making your heart race or what's giving you the anxiety, helps you know that you got to address it. If you just sit here and live in this, I don't know why I'm anxious. When people say that, they haven't taken the time to really think, what is it that's causing me? There's always a cause, and the people who say they can't figure it out, they're not really looking deep within.
Right.
So identify the issue, address it, that will make it easier to have a better outcome.
Okay.
One way you can rechannel that nervous energy, especially for maybe people who are getting ready for the Olympia coming up, is to remember all the benefits and the amazing things that have come your way. So if I was feeling nervous or anxious, there's so many great things that come along with the journey, and it's not just the win. It's so many other things, and you just have to remember like what you have.
And remember, people would love to trade places
Oh my God,
with
they
you.
would. People would envy where you're at.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Guys who work so hard to get in that great shape, and then you actually follow through and you're on stage, and they put too much on that win to the place of like when it's over, then they can, be lost. But God, what a wonderful place and physique and what you've accomplished and through that journey. And it should not be the happiness dependent upon you walking away with the first place.
Exactly.
But one of us, we want to walk away with the first place. Who's the winner?
Who's the best?
Who's the best? Queen Charlotte, Mona Lisa, the Knight Camile, and Gumby.
I thought you were going to forget about me.
No.
Okay.
Can't forget about you, Gumby.
Who's the winner? You guys have to vote.
Eyesore out here, guys.
No, can't forget about. No, you're adorable.
He's the medieval pet.
Yes.
I love it.
What's the best costume, guys?
Yeah. Thank you so much, and have fun Halloween and celebrating. Trick or treat. Have some candy corn. Just enjoy yourself. And anyway, don't forget to like, subscribe, and subscribe to Olympia TV. And we will see you on our next episode of Femme Flex.